Hello, and welcome to another episode of Meet Your Board of Education. I'm your host, Lauren Liggons. Today we'll be talking with the Southfield Board of Education Vice President, Darryl Buchanan. Hi, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lauren. It's good to be here.
Why did you want to become a member of the school board?
Well, it's interesting. I never really had plans on becoming a school board trustee. It was a position that I pretty much grew into. Quite simply, when my son started in the first grade, and I escorted him to school and stood there on the playground with the other parents, and when it was time for them to go in, I peeled him off of my leg and said, okay, this is my son, Evan, and if you need anything, let me know. And the teacher was like, really? So I said, sure, just give me a call. So they started calling, and I started responding. I guess my focus was I wanted to make sure that his education was going to be the best that it could be. But then I realized that I couldn't segregate his experiences away from the students that were around him. So it went from being concerned with my son to being concerned with his class. Then I realized I can't separate his class from the rest of the building, and so that's how I originally got involved. I served as PTA president at Kennedy Elementary for a couple of years. And it was while I was there that I was recruited to come and do some other things for the district. And my interest just grew from there, and as well as my reputation for, being somebody that was willing to serve. And that's pretty much how I ended up on the school board.
How long have you been on the board?
I was first appointed to the board in 2005. It's been so long, it seems like. It's been a while. Yeah, I first was appointed in 2005, and then that was to fulfill the remainder of the term of Paul Cooper, then president of the board, who stepped down. And after fulfilling that term, I ran the next year, and then here I am.
What do you do for a living outside of the school board?
Outside of this, I'm a technical consultant. What I do is I help different companies deal with technological issues, whether it be voice, data, or any of their infrastructure issues. So I help design and maintain data systems for small to medium-sized companies.
Do you have any other children?
Yes, I have actually I have two sons who both attend Southfield High. I know you didn't want to hear that, but I have a ninth grader, Colin, and an 11th grader, Evan.
How does your family feel about you being on the school board?
It requires me to be away from them quite a bit. I mean, we have a lot of meetings, but I think that they know what my commitment is. And I really get the impression that they're proud of the role that I play in serving the community.
How do you feel about Southfield and Lathrop Village?
I really love this area. I'm originally from Detroit, and I had gotten married and moved to Chicago and lived in Chicago for a number of years. Actually, that's where my sons were born. But as they approached school age, I had an opportunity to come back home. Well, in searching the various communities, my wife and I, we decided that Southfield was a community that was more in tune with what we wanted to do with our family. And it just proved to be very fertile ground for us. Both of my boys are doing extremely well. And, Chicago, and being in Chicago all those years, I started to see some things, some similarities between the community that I lived in and what we have to offer here in Southfield. So it's a very diverse community, and that's one of the things that I wanted to make sure that they had that experience of living in a diverse community. So we both really love being back here in Southfield. We've been here now for about 12 years.
How often does the board meet?
Quite a bit. We have our regularly scheduled meetings, which are every second Tuesday of the month at 7 o'clock. So anybody that wants to attend the meetings, that's when we meet regularly. Mm-hmm. But then we also have study sessions and various other types of meetings that we have, depending on what the issues are that are facing the board at that time. We also have student hearings, which is probably my least favorite thing, but we have quite a few meetings.
What happens at these meetings?
Well, we always conduct the board business for the district. So we vote on various issues, be it hiring personnel or paying the bills, or new initiatives that the administration wants to initiate. Then we're there to vote on those issues and help move the process forward. So that's really the role of the board, is to handle the policy of the school district more so than the actual running of the school district.
So you mentioned some of those issues, but what would you say is the biggest issue that the board has to decide on?
Right now,
yes.
Like every other community around us, our biggest issue is dealing with finance. By law, we are mandated to set our budget by June 30th of every year. And that's the end of the fiscal year for all school districts. But here we are, and we're just now finding out that the state isn't going to allow us the amount of money that we had budgeted for back in June. And we're being told now that, we're going to carve out some of the money that you've already, set your budget on. So it just makes it a very difficult process for us to have to constantly go out and try to keep a balanced budget, but at the same time, never really knowing exactly what that budget is going to be by the time the budget rolls out from the state.
So far, what is the school board's plans to fix the budget problem?
Well, like a lot of districts, we're trying as best we can to conserve our resources, try to work within our budget as families and companies and everybody else tries to do. We can't live beyond our means, and that's just asking for trouble down the road. So we make sure that we try to stay within our means financially, but then we don't want to cut out any programs that impact our students. I mean, we're in the business of education, so pure and simple, we just want to make sure that the programs and standards that we have set for the district are able to be maintained. But at the same time, we have to look at that bottom line consideration, because that's our real fiduciary responsibility to the community, is to make sure that we're getting the best use of all of our tax dollars.
What changes would you like to bring to the school district?
Well, actually, since I've been on the board, we have implemented so many changes within the district, and just seeing the impact of so many of them. Dress code is one that we addressed some time ago, and we're seeing the benefits of that. We're also seeing that, a lot of the programs that we implemented some time ago, some of the educational initiatives, our partnership with the University of Michigan Dearborn, for example, is really starting to bear fruit for us. We have both the MacArthur K-8 Academy, which is really setting the bar in terms of, middle school, elementary school academies, dealing with STEM programs, and that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, as well as the University High School Academy program, again, part of that partnership with the University of Michigan Dearborn. Seeing both of those programs grow and just seeing the kind of response that we're getting both from the community, here within Southfield and Lathrop Village, but also from the surrounding communities, gives us an indication that we're doing a good job.
Who are some of your favorite teachers in the school district?
That's not a fair question at all. And I say that because I know so many teachers, and there's so many great teachers here in Southfield. Ones that I've met, either through, the experiences with my sons or, just in my experiences as a board member. I mean, there are just so many. And if I start naming them, I'm going to leave out some. So rather than go there, I can't say my favorites. What I will say is that we have just so many talented and dedicated teachers here in this district, and I think it's a benefit and a blessing to us and to our students to have such teachers here in Southfield and Lathrop Village.
You said you were from this area. What was your high school career like?
I went to St. Martin de Porres High School, and it was great. It was a great experience. My high school principal then, Mr. Joseph Doolin, was really a visionary, and just being around somebody like that who was able to instill the kind of social values that he instilled in all of us. For us to go out and serve, in our communities. The one thing I remember most from him is that once he got up in front of the whole student body, understand there were only about 400 of us attending the Porres, but he got in front of the student body and he basically recited the words to the song "Lean on Me." And what he was doing to us, what he was trying to convey to us is that a sense of responsibility to each other and for each other. That regardless of how far we got in our careers and how successful we are, we were to reach back and make sure that we brought somebody else along with us. And that's something that's always resonated with me and something that I've always tried to incorporate in whatever I do. So for that, Mr. Doolin, thank you.
How have things changed since you've been in school?
Probably with the advances in technology, it's been the greatest change. Just the speed at which information is flowing nowadays. Whereas you would have news would travel probably in a 24-hour cycle or something like that. In my day, is traveling, like immediate. So something happens, you know about it immediately. But then also the advances that are taking place in technology and seeing how that's filtering all the way down to the elementary levels, So actually some of the courses that I actually took in college, say some of my math classes, are being taught now, at the high school level. The things I took in high school are being taught at the middle school level. So, just watching that transition, it's an indication of, how things are advancing and how rapidly they're advancing. So that just adds to some of the challenges.
What's the best part of being a board member?
For me, the best part of being on the school board is graduation. That is absolutely my favorite thing because now I've been on the board and been involved in the district long enough that I'm seeing, young people that I've seen as elementary students now, matriculating all the way through and now graduating. And just seeing that look on their face as they go out and accept the challenges of this next phase of their life. That's the most rewarding part of being a school board member.
And with that, I'd like to say thank you for being on our program today.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you for watching. You've been watching Meet Your Board of Education. I'm your host, Lauren Liggons, and today we've had Darryl Buchanan on our show. See you next time.